right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, 81 degrees. Looks like it'll reach 90 today with about a 40% chance of rain this afternoon, and that's what we expect every day this summertime, right? Kelli Hart is in the studio bringing us some news from Ocala magazine, and she has a guest today, Gail Thompson. So good morning, ladies.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
How's
Thanks
everything?
for having us on. It's wonderful.
Your picture is hanging up in the library in Bellevue.
That's exciting.
With the
I'm
only-
going to have to get by there.
The only one with red lips.
I may have to go by there actually this morning. I have another appointment after the show in Bellevue, so it's perfect timing.
Oh, cool.
So I'll go and check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a guest this morning for Ocala Magazine Radio. Her name is Gail Thompson. Gail is one of our advertisers, and she is an author, and so she's here this morning to talk about
goodness,
her
that's awesome.
book. Yes, I'll pass one to you.
Let me see.
Larry, and she has signed these and would like the opportunity to give these away to some of your
Absolutely.
listeners. So
Yes.
it's called All the Shaw's Horses. So good morning, Gail. Nice to have you here this morning.
Good morning.
So tell us about your book. What's it about? It's beautiful. The artwork's beautiful, and it looks like a nice, good read. So tell us what it's about.
It's a book that is written about the time I spent in Iran in the 1970s working for the Shah of Iran.
Oh, my gosh.
I went there. My husband was a businessman, and I was a Canadian, and when I'd been very involved in horses, and when I arrived in Iran, their security was pretty good, and they found out that I was an accomplished horsewoman, and I was asked to go and work for the imperial court to train the Shah's horses at his stables, and also to train the Iranian show jumping team.
Wow.
So the book is a collection of stories about my time during that period, which was the golden age of Iran in the 20th century.
Yeah.
But it's an easy read, and there's some funny stories, there's some sad stories, there's some real interesting stories. So I think it's something that anybody who is interested in horses or in Iran and the history
World
would be
history, it sounds
interested in.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you help us understand what the Shah meant to the people of Iran back in those days?
Back in those days, he was very, very popular. His father had taken over from the Qajar dynasty in 1925 and had really improved the country, built railroads, developed industry, and tried to bring the country out of the Dark Ages. And the Shah himself continued to do that. And when I got there in 1972, I remember sitting in the car with the driver that was taking me around to look for houses to rent, and he was saying, "Oh, that's so beautiful. The Shah did this. Oh my God, the Shah did this for us." And he was revered by everyone in the country.
I had a feeling, yeah.
When I left in 1976, the end of 1976. The last day I was there, I had to hire a driver because we let go of our permanent one, and the traffic was terrible. We were sitting in traffic, and I was waiting to get back to the house to finish packing, and the driver said, "Oh, this terrible traffic. It's all the fault of the Shah. The Shah is so terrible. We don't like the Shah anymore." So in those 5 years, he was exalted, and by the end, he was hated.
Oh my God.
Sounds familiar. Sounds like some of our politics.
Yeah, it was really sad, actually, because if he had been able to stay a couple more years, I think things would have been different. Things would have been different. But the problem was that the Carter administration really didn't support him, whereas in the past he'd been
and look what they got after they kicked him out.
Right.
What was oh gosh, no, I lost my train of thought. Forgive this ignorance. I don't know. Was the Shah elected? Was it?
No, he was not elected. He was a king.
Okay, that's what I didn't know.
Iran had kings for 2,500 years.
Okay.
And the Qajar dynasty, which was the previous dynasty, had lasted for about 150 years. And at the end of their dynasty, they were pretty corrupt. And so there was a minor military revolution led by this Turkoman called Reza Khan. And he took over from the Qajars.
Wow.
And they left the country, and he became the leader, and then he crowned himself king. And then after he actually abdicated. He was forced to abdicate right during at the beginning of the Second World War, and because he wanted to remain neutral, and the Allies didn't want him to be neutral, and so they deposed him really and put in Mohammad Reza, his son, as the Shah.
Wow. The cultural landscape of Iran in the 5 years you were there. Did religion play a role in that culture as much as it seems to now?
Not as much, because during Reza Shah's period, he had abolished the chador and the covering of the head, and he wanted to become way more westernized.
Yeah.
And while I was there, women could go in the street without the chador. Now, if you were religious,
What is the chador again?
The chador is a head covering that it goes down to the ankles.
Oh, okay. Like what we see, like
Similar to what we see on Muslim people here.
Okay, yeah.
And so Reza Shah had abolished it, but later in his reign, he had said that religious people were allowed to wear it. So a lot of people were Western and did not go out of their houses with the chador, but then the religious people did. And for instance, if you went to a mosque, which I went to the mosque occasionally, because I wanted to see the beautiful mosques of Iran, I would put a chador on to go into the mosque. And but the religion, the country was religious, and you heard the mullahs call for prayer every day, 3 times a day, but the people weren't fanatical the way they became after the revolution.
Wow. The book, wow, it's fascinating.
What a remarkable story, right?
So the Shah's horses, did any of them come from Ocala?
None of them came from Ocala, but a lot of them when I took over the stables, we started importing horses from Europe. So I went to Ireland and bought horses for them, and we brought horses from Germany, because the show jumping really needed that type of horse rather than the Persian Arab horse, which isn't really a talented jumper.
And we want to encourage people to call, because I'm sure there's people listening that have so many questions. So if you want to call in, you can absolutely do that. And I don't know, Larry, how you want to do the book giveaway.
We will give away a book. Just call 622-9622. I'll give it away to whoever asks for it. But also, you call and ask questions. This is a
yes, it is
fascinating topic.
It's
I love the topic. Did the horses come the other direction? Did Marion County get horses from Iran?
Not that I know of.
When we say Arabian horses, forgive me, I'm not a horse person. Kelly probably knows more about horses than I ever will. Do Arabian horses come from that part of the world, or we just call them that?
No, Arabian horses come from that part of the world. The Arabian horses began in the Middle East, in Asia. And then a lot of them, they were imported to England to produce the thoroughbred racehorse. And a lot of people, they've become very popular over the years, and there are a lot of Arabian show horses in England and America and Canada and all the other countries.
Wow. The book is called All the Shah's Horses. Kelly's guest is Gail Rose Thompson. And I'm just finding this fascinating. So are our listeners. The phone has rung. I have answered it. Let's go to the phone.
Okay.
First question. Do you want the book?
Well, yes, I got the book, Charles.
Okay.
And then a quick...
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, there's a phone kind of thing happening. Did you say your name is Charles?
Yes, and I know where you're at. Been there many, many times.
Okay, you've got the book. Now, do you have a question for...
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know much about the horses. I do know a lot about Iran, but I'll let the other guests who have specific questions call in. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, you just wanted the book. Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
You said Charles, right? Charles?
Yes,
Okay.
Charles.
Got it. Good.
So it's a signed copy, which is great.
Very
and
nice.
He knows where to pick that up. So
That is
wonderful.
awesome.
So yeah, keep the calls coming, and we still have other books to give away. So
You know, I'm curious. How long has the book been out?
It was first published in December 2016.
Oh, okay. So it's not that old.
No,
have you
not
had
that.
feedback from readers that seem to be more focused on Iran than on the horses? Like I'm sort of doing so far.
The feedback has been from people who are interested in Iran and people who are interested in horses. It's probably got a lot of horse information in it that people who don't know about horses may learn from. But the feedback has been pretty general, basically.
When did you move here?
I've been in Ocala in the winters ever since 2012, I guess it is.
Do you know where we're sitting used to be a horse farm? Right
I
here.
know. I know that.
In fact, I
Yes.
think, Kelly, am I right about this? One of the first thoroughbred race winners was raised here? Was it
That's
Rosewood or something? Rose?
That is, I have heard that.
Rosemere? Maybe Rosemere Farm? I can't remember what the farm was called now.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was the farm, I think, was owned by a Canadian who actually
You Canadians are everywhere.
had a horse called Paddock Park.
We have a lot.
Oh, okay. So that would make sense that
Yes.
what
Yes.
this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got the
Paddock
paddocks.
So is Canada a big horse place? I mean, Marion County is, I know.
Canada has a lot of horses, and they have a good, big racing industry, yes. They do. And a lot of Canadians, of course, have farms down here in Ocala because it's so cold up in Canada in the winter. So they bring most of their breeding stock down here.
Yeah. We used to have a radio show in the winter called Canada Calling. I can't remember the guy's name now, but he would do a radio show for Canadians, and then in the winter
Wow.
he'd pack it up and be back up there.
For someone who has been to Quebec and dead in the middle of their winter, I can understand why. Living here and having been there, I can definitely understand why you would want to, and I'm sure the horses appreciate it.
Yeah,
because it is very cold. But I think that the book is great. I love the title of the book. It's very clever. Where can people find it?
It's on Amazon
Okay.
and Barnes & Noble, and there's a Kindle edition as
Oh,
well.
wow.
Well, that's what kind I'm going to get. That's my new thing.
Oh, Kindle.
Is doing. Yeah, I'm modernizing myself.
Oh, good for you.
Doing everything I can.
Good for
Doing
you.
Yeah, I read the Kindle a lot myself.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, how exciting! I mean, is this something you've always wanted to do? Is write the book, or have you written other books?
Well, I've always wanted to write, but I've spent most of my life since I came back from Iran. I went into the horse business. I decided that it was fun. I'd made a lot of money in Iran working for the Shah, so maybe I could make
Wait a
money
minute.
in America.
Wait a minute! You wrote a book called All the Shah's Men.
Yeah, it's the same book.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's very similar. It's the first edition, and one of my marketing people wanted me to change the title and change a little bit in the book. So it's basically the same book.
It's basically, but you must talk about the men as well as the horses.
It does. It talks about the men as well as the horses. And I'm actually working on another book that is about Iran during the days of the Shah. But it's not really about horses. It's about the way of life and the people and their stories about various important individuals. And then there's an interlude which explains about how the revolution happened, the end of the Shah, the beginning of Khomeini. And then the last part of the book the second part of the book is about Iran after the revolution. And I have plans to go back to Iran in September to
Do you really?
finish it.
Wow.
Wow. Is that safe?
Oh, very safe. It's the safest country in the Middle East to travel to.
Is it really?
It really is. Yeah.
Why do we not think that though? What's
Because of the press.
Yeah.
Because of the press and because of the attitude of most Americans about Muslims and the country of Iran.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I hope you're wrong. I mean, it seems like it's true when you listen to the media, but almost everybody I know doesn't feel that way about Muslims. But
Well,
the media makes it seem like
the media.
Yeah,
the media
does
is
a
not.
really good job, and I mean,
Yeah.
me being in the media, of course, I'm pro
Well,
media,
you and I are different.
but we are very different.
You know what I
very
wanted to ask you? Your role when you're working with the Shah, did that put you in an elevated place, especially at the beginning, and then at a bad place toward the end? Your relationship with the Shah.
No, because he was still the king when I left at the end of '76, and things really didn't get bad until '78. So I was in an exalted position. I could go anywhere I wanted. My face was known. I remember going certain places and actually to the tennis tournament where the Shah was. And I walked into the tennis tournament. I didn't have a pass, but the security guard looked at me and said, "Oh, Mrs. Rose, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be at the stables." So yeah, I was well known in the country, and actually today I still am well known. because I really was the one that got show jumping going in Iran.
Wow.
Did you speak
And
Persian? Or
I did.
That's the language, right?
I
Persian?
did, yeah,
Okay.
Farsi.
Farsi is what it's called?
Yes,
Okay,
uh-huh.
okay. And do you still speak it fluently?
Oh, not fluently. As a matter of fact, I'm studying like mad to get it back so that when I go over there, I'll be able to converse properly.
Is it,
amazing.
Is it harder to read than to speak?
It's very hard to read. And while I was there, I did learn to read and write. And I could read and write maybe at like third grade level. It was enough that I could make the entries for my horses in the horse shows, and I could read, notices that came from the central office to me. But I was not really proficient.
Wow.
Wow. Such a fantastic story.
I love this. I wonder what language Mrs. Fakori speaks. Is it Arabic? Is that what she speaks? I know she speaks English, but I mean...
Right. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Do you know who we're
Interesting.
talking about, Mrs. Fakori?
No.
You could.
No.
Oh, you could chat with her.
Oh, good.
I bet you could. I bet you could.
Well, yeah, she would probably love this book as well. Need to take a break?
How do you say in Farsi, we need to take a break?
Oh, don't ask me.
You don't know? Well, we need to take a
Certainly
break.
don't ask me.
I can say mucha karam.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a little break. Be right back.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck, back pain, or tennis elbow and would like to learn how to get out of pain, go to Regenetic.com. Then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to the people that give you the regenerative medical solutions to your pain. Regenetic. First and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source. Regenetic.com.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
All right, 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. What a fascinating guest Kelli has brought to us today. This is Ocala Magazine Radio with Kelli Hart. And Kelli's guest is Gail Thompson, Gail Rose Thompson, actually. And the book that you have written is called All the Shah's Horses. We're just fascinated by the book.
Fascinating.
During the break, I flipped through it, and there was a part I was reading about a big x-ray machine. What was that? I mean, do we do that here? Do we x-ray the horses here?
Oh, of course.
Yeah?
Yes.
What is that? Is that for just for the horse's health?
It's for the horse's health, to discover if there are any problems with the horse. If you have lamenesses, injuries, you want to x-ray to make sure, just like with people.
And it's in the book because it was a new...
Well, it's in the book because in those days, this was in the 70s, right?
Okay.
And this is Iran. And we had an Irish vet that worked exclusively for the Shah. And when he got there, he saw how primitively the horses were taken care of compared to what he did. He'd been working Newmarket in England, which was in those days the epitome of good veterinary care. So he decided that at the Imperial Stables we needed an operating room and we needed X-ray machine, and we needed, equipment and so forth and so on. And so he would ask for various things. And one of the things he decided he wanted was this huge X-ray machine. But we couldn't get the X-ray machine till we had the hospital built. So they were trying to build the hospital room, and it took forever and ever and ever to get that done, because in Iran things just got done really slowly. And he got terribly frustrated with this.
Really?
And finally he left and went back to Ireland. And so the man he'd ordered the X-ray machine arrived at the Imperial Stables one day and said, "Oh, I'm the man who's, going to put the X-ray machine in." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Well, that's very interesting," because I didn't know anything about it. So I had to show him where it was going to go and so forth and so on. And after a great big deal of study, he discovered that there was no possibility we could put this heavy machine in because the roof wasn't strong enough. And so we couldn't have that machine.
Oh, no.
So meanwhile, the Australians were coming because they were going to develop racing. And I got in touch with the Australians and said, "Could you bring us a portable X-ray machine from Australia?" So they brought the portable X-ray machine, and we canceled the big one.
Fantastic.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that amazing how things have changed, right?
They have, yeah.
I know everyone will look forward to reading the book. It sounds like it's filled with tons and tons of stories, which I'm always enamored by a writer who has an idea to write a book. I mean, most writers do. They look to be published, but to actually sit down and dedicate the time and energy it takes to writing a book, and this is a substantial book.
Sure.
So I know that this took quite a bit of dedication and motivation, and I can't even imagine what that process must be like. So to me, it's just always an honor to sit next to someone who has published a book. That's my ultimate life goal. So to me, that's
you'll do it. You'll do it.
Amazing.
You're sharing something we would never have been privy to. The book gives us something I never would have known any of this stuff, or just a little interview, let alone what the book has to tell us about. So.
Yep. Well, I hope you'll read it and
enjoy
it.
Oh, I will. And what you probably think of as kind of run-of-the-mill is going to be very exciting for us to read.
Right.
Well, I hope it's exciting to read. And of course, I enjoyed writing it. It was
enlightening.
fun.
Was it like going back? Was it like revisiting?
It was like, actually, to tell you the truth, I wrote it when I first got back from Iran. I sat with my little typewriter and pounded my keys at night, every night for 8 or 9 or 10 months. And then I went into the horse business, and I took it to a publisher in New York, and they accepted it, but it needed a lot of rewrites. So I didn't have time to do the rewrites. I put it in the attic. And then
oh no.
And then like 39 years later, I decided I was going to write a novel, which I'm working on still. And I wanted some information about Iran, and I thought, that's in my book. So I went up to the attic and I pulled out the manuscript and I started reading it, and I'm like, did I really write this?
Yeah. We're glad you went up in the attic and brought it down for all of us just to share.
Found that on Amazon, 5-star rating. You're doing pretty good,
Fantastic.
I think. Oh, 6 people. Oh, wow. Everybody's giving you the 5-star rating. Look at this. You're doing really good. Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
Kelli, what a great guest.
Thank you, Gail. And we're happy you were here today, and happy you have a relationship with Ocala Magazine. And we'll, of course, put the link out and links to how you could get the book. So like Ocala Magazine on Facebook.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Kelli. We'll be right back.